And it finally happened when I finally dropped the trailer for My Hero Academia All's Justice, the third game of the franchise. Uh, well, the previous games were not called All's Justice. I guess they wanted to change to get rid of that stigma that one's justice had. Well, it's not a game that a lot of people like, and it receives a bunch of hate also. But that's normal. My Hero Academia as a whole receive a lot of hate. But I was waiting for this. I played a lot the first two games. I played I don't know around 150 hours the first kind of looked like a prototype even like it was barely a game. If you played or played the second one, the first one shouldn't have existed in that state. I understand, but the second one was way too good. 600 hours tossed in, and well, 1,000 hours in My Hero Ultra Rumble. Why am I saying all that? Just to prove a point that I'm an extreme fan of My Hero. It's my favorite show, and because I like it so much, that there will be a lot of criticism because I do criticize a lot also. I love criticizing stuff that I love. Let's go with the trailer. I will be doing a breakthrough as long with some theories and hopes for the future, I guess. As you guys can see, English is not my main language, but I guess that's the way of reaching as many people as I want, because I want to talk about the game. I want to play this shit. So let's go with the trailer. I took the audio off because we don't need that. All right. Here, the first big news: whole Class A in the game, which is fantastic. And well, 5 years in development. By the way, I'm not sure if it was 5 years because they had My Hero Ultra Rumble on the go also. But well, 5 years of wait at least. So I would expect the old characters to have changed a bit, and we're going to see on the trailer that yes, they did seem to have changed a bit, but that's not what matters. We have new characters. We have the whole class. That's amazing. Let's proceed. Mm, a new stage, the coffee in the sky, with the stuff from the last season. Here we can see the gameplay, and we can see some stuff that is interesting. A bunch of stuff that is interesting. I didn't had a script because I didn't even expect it to be recording this. I'm just that excited that I wanted to vocalize my excitement for this. Uh, Everything that I'll be saying or talking about it's stuff that I kind of got it on the way, so I might have missed something. Mm, Another thing, the modeling is just way too good. The modeling, guys, it's an anime game. I don't know what people expect for anime games if you're not anime style. And in some shots, if you pause the thing, it kind of looks like the a 2D drawing. It doesn't even look like a 3D object. This could either be a cutscene or a plus ultra, of which I would much rather prefer that it was a plus ultra, because on the last two games, truth be said, the animations were not that great. Okay, the plus ultras they first were dragged for way too long. Uh, every time that you plus ultra, your character and the enemy just get tossed into a scenario that has nothing but the ground. So yeah, the animations are great. I love it. Well, we just saw Bakugo yellow attack. The previous game had that, so it's good to know that the gameplay is it's similar because I love the gameplay. My Hero One's Justice series always had that sort of complexity. It's not much, okay, but I think it's enough for an arena fighter. So that one just seems to propel Bakugo forward, or maybe other directions. And here, okay, more animations. Well, this is definitely a story cutscene, which, by the way, that's amazing that we are receiving more cutscenes for the story mode. S- Something that the other two games lacked a lot was animation. Like we were pretty much playing slides. But if you are in my video with no subscribers, you probably know about the other games, right? And if you don't, well, now you do. Good facial expressions, the 3D model, dude. This hair is amazing. Why I love those hairs. We can see that on Bakugo also. Uh, I think it's due to their the shading that they use. But on the past games, it kind of feels like the hair has an outline, like the shaders programmed to give the hair an outline, but every other hair that is inside, the only time that they also receive that black outline, it's when the hair is forward, like it's outside, you know. And here, no, we can see that they actually work it pretty hard. We have like we have depth to the hair. Like, I'm sorry, it's looking too good. Look at this. If I pause it, it looks like a 2D animation. It might be even, is it not? Huh. Yeah, this here looks kind of 3D, but I don't know, guys. I don't know. Like here we have Tsuyu and Uraraka. Something funny, but it's probably just for the cutscene. I find it curious that they gave Uraraka a 3D model with her hair wet. Just this little detail. Can you imagine if there was like a well, because in this scenario in specific, it's raining, so wouldn't it be super cool if we had those different models for different weather effects on the scenarios? That's we all know that this is not happening, but a man can dream, okay? Uh, we have Toga here, nothing different. Uh, Toga's twice. Well, again, the thing that I said about the hair, if it was on the other games, you would have like a outline on all his head on the outside part, but all this stuff in the middle would be just full yellow. You wouldn't have those types of depth. You know, I think you guys know what I mean. I'll stop talking about that. It's so cool that the 3D models improve that much. More cutscene. Which, by the way, super cool to have the coffee in the sky. As look at this. Yeah, are you telling me that this is not a 2D animation? It makes no sense. This is too good for my own mind. But yeah, it's cool that we have the coffee in the sky as a stage. Um, Cutscene. They're looking cool as fuck. More gameplay. They talk about that a bit. It's because I don't have the subtitles. and that's just the trailer. But they say that now there's kind of like a new mechanic. It's hard to know what it is really, but it's probably something like you beat your enemy enough that your character just to get a boost of adrenaline, and he gets really dank to hit people up. Deck with a black whip and gear shift with the after images, so cool as heck. I want to talk about something, but let me wait for a better moment. Market scenes. Uraraka getting water because she was thirsty. Okay, guys. An amazing shot again. I don't know you guys, but this. I think this one, it's just a cutscene, and as much as this one, it's probably a cutscene. It just feel. I don't know. It feels so much like a plus ultra animation, because the thing is super cool, you know. But probably because of the lack of details around it, so it kind of feels like a plus ultra animation. Eh. But the Shiraraki reaction kind of takes out of being a plus ultra because if the characters actually have reactions to what's happening to them. Not that the other games didn't have, but the reactions were kind of limited to like surprise, happiness, fear. You know, here we saw Shigaraki actually changing expressions, so it's probably just a cutscene. I know that I'm going too crazy over this. And here we get the first look on UA 1A characters. Let's go little by little, just so we can talk about it. Ida, I don't know if it's the scenario or it's something that they just chose as a design. I don't know if those characters, because I can imagine, like, I mean, obviously Deku is getting a bunch of variations, Shigaraki as well. I don't know if 1A characters would get the variations. Because this Ida, well, his armor is a bit more grayish than regular. Kind of resembles a bit the dark tone of the last season, but well, it could be just the illumination that they put him in. But Froppy, it's Froppy. Mineta, we had it also. Uh, this background kind of feels like Plus Ultras. The other games they have this like a sensation of fastness to it, you know. I hate personally I hate it. Like I find it super lazy to instead of a not that you can't use, but I find it lazy, you know. I think that they could do better. But if this is actually the sensation of fastness that I say, I'm so glad that they changed the Idas to be black and blue and more to the darker tone. Because on the other game, the thing is like a bright blue, and then you have a Ida that is white with blue flames going from his legs, and you don't understand a single thing that is happening on screen. So if it's a darker blue, at least that touches the character a bit from this scenario, and I can understand what is happening. Froppy also Tsuyu, a dark green Mineta with Mineta Ghost Fire, by the way. Looks so cool. Kirishima. My God, the thing is 0.25 and it's going super fast. Kirishima finally with Unbreakable. Because I don't know if you guys remember, the second game came out with Season 4. And we had Kirishima using Unbreakable on Season 4, but they didn't add that to the game. The guy just hardens his arms and that's it. So it's very lame. But yeah, Unbreakable, finally in the game, looking dope. Momo, gorgeous as always, of course. Too gorgeous. Fumikage freaking Tokoyami, amazing. Love his design. I mean, just praising the character because the character is cool. Kaminari. Well, Kaminari was in the game as long as some others. Aoyama with a new cloth. I don't know. I find it kind of odd that they used this to show Aoyama because it's not his hero suite. But I don't think they would get rid of the customization because one's Justice still had like, and the one also had too much customization. I would imagine that this could be a feature that they could take out of the game, which kind of sucks because customizing your character is just to give so much character. Uh, it makes so much more personal, you know. But well, okay, a different costume for Aoyama. Jiro is looking cold though. Her design, I don't know if it's the lighting, but yeah, she's looking super dope. I like it. Mina with Acid Man. That's amazing. I love the design. I love how it looks. It just gives me way more hope that all the characters that we had previously, maybe not all, but some characters could receive an upgrade on their Plus Ultra animations that were very lackluster. Like uh, Kirishima is an example. Like not only Kirishima, but I think it happens a lot on or yeah, it happens a lot on One's Justice series that when they don't have idea on what to do with the animations, they just make the character jump super high and dive on the ground and make everything explode, which personally bothers me a lot because like I understand that they're trying to make something cool, but like I don't think that every character needs to explode the ground like a freaking nuke, you know? Like Aizawa did this. He would go up, dive down, explode in a big explosion of rocks. Kirishima would go up, go down, explode in a big explosion of rocks. And it's like, okay, I don't want a big explosion of rocks. So please, Acid Man, new Plus Ultra for Mina, even though her Plus Ultra was kind of cool. Yes, I'm just complaining. Shoji, dope, as dope as it can get. His hero costume, it could have been better. Okay, not a hater, not a hater. I'm excited to see how his gameplay will look. It's quite promising. I think that from what we saw of Deku doing with the Black Whip, maybe he could do something similar with the tentacles. Yeah, I'm excited for him. Ojiro, never a big fan of Ojiro, but the movies made me like him a lot, especially the sec the second movie. Yeah, the second movie, him and Zero, they won that movie for me. They were looking super cool, like they were just rushing in into action, and putting their lives at risk. I'm sorry, I'm just a sucker for those things. Zero, another complaint of mine. I freaking hate this model of Zero. Okay? Oh my god, I just realized something. Wait. Okay. Oh my god. So, the complaint that I have is that I hate his face. Because Zero has a very characteristic a piano tile smile, you know? Uh, he usually doesn't have a smile with a line in the middle crossing. His smile is just like a piano tile. And I would really like if he had the pianos on his mouth. I don't know. It's just it kind of takes a bit from his character, I feel. And another thing that I just realized, he's not shooting he's not shooting tape from his elbow here. I don't even know how this part of the arm is called, but this is definitely not an elbow. Okay. uh, all right. Invisible Girl. Whoopsie. Why do you think it needs to go so far? Invisible Girl. Hagakuri. Amazing. The word is lucky that she's invisible because what a gorgeous girl. Very pretty. Sato. eh, I mean, we're getting all class 1A. Is there any Sato fans out there? Just not a big fan. I find it, oops, I find it funny that we can see those crumbs here. It's because the thing passed too fast, but I think he just ate something, and that could be either him getting into uh, the intro for the fight, but if it's a plus ultra, he probably eats sugar for his plus ultra, which makes sense. It's literally his quirk to get stronger, and it would be cool to have like a mechanic in game for him to eat sugar and get a rush. Who knows? Like Fat Gum had a mechanic of going skinny, so maybe he has something similar. Eh, not a not a big fan. Not a big fan. Koda, not a big fan. Not a big. I don't know. There's just a he has potential. Like it's good in a way that we didn't saw much of him in the anime because Bai King is very good at coming up with move sets and cool stuff. I trust them on that. So yeah, maybe Koda can do something cool for who likes him. Uraraka, important thing with her new costume. So we are definitely getting Zero Satellite. Cool name, by the way. Amazing name. Love it. Todoroki, which is kind of funny because they used the phosphor move from Shoto. So is it a new character? Is it the regular character? Maybe with that new mechanic that we have of characters going like in an adrenaline mode. Shoto adrenaline mode could be the phosphor. It could work. Bakugo with his late costume, the Strafe Panzer. Cool, dope. We could get him using the cluster with his adrenaline. I might do a video talking about the characters specifically. Ah yeah, all that is just to finish the punch. My Hero Academia, All's Justice. hmm There we have the background. We can wish list on Steam already. I did it. I did it. Okay. Nice. Well, that's the thing. I hope that they didn't let any character of the previous games out. I think it's insane to think that about All Might, the man, the goat. Yeah, but obviously we're getting All Might. It's cool that we are getting a variation. The armored All Might. And see, just a little thing. This is the smile that Zero has. It's those piano tiles. All for One also is here. The younger version. They might get. They might. They are obviously getting one variation each at least. And coming soon. Dope. I swear, this gives so much uh, open world vibe. But even on Steam, they didn't list the thing as a own open world. But stop saying but. I don't know. It just looks like. I don't know why Deku is standing there. Okay. I'm an anime only also. So there's also that. I couldn't show something or I kinda miss see it. On this fight of Deku with Shigaraki, we can kinda see it, or we cannot. Uh, does this work? I know that there's a better video. Well, there we have it, guys. So, this fight is during the day, which is funny. The other one might be story mode, since it was super dark. It could be like the clouds and stuff. I wanted you guys to see this. I don't know if I'm going crazy, okay? I honestly don't know if I'm going crazy. The game, but I have a theory. So, the game is coming for Steam, obviously, and the new generation. It's not on the past generation, PlayStation 4 and yada yada. All right. Two theories. First, the game was in 60 FPS, so they kind of want to keep that going, and the new consoles have that power to bring the 60 FPS out of it. And another thing, uh, the scenarios in the other games, they had the limitations. I mean, it's a stage, obviously. It needs to have limitation. But what I mean is that those limitations were not just an invisible wall. Of course, yes, it needs. But they would put like cones and barriers and objects and debris to not let the player pass. All right. And did you guys notice the size of this scenario? Like, of course, I don't expect you to run over UA on top of it. This is not Ultra Rumble. Bro, look at the size of this scenario. Am I going crazy? Is it smaller than it looks? Does it have a barrier anywhere? It just looks so huge. Like they're not touching UA. Can you imagine if all that is the ground for you to battle, and one person can be at UA and the other be at that pillar over there? That's insane if the scenario is that big. That makes no sense. Obviously, not every scenario would be like this, but just having one this size would be insane. Something that is for sure not happening because the game would drop FPS and destroy the computers of everyone. Can you imagine have like a Twice here doing Sedman's parade and covering a huge AoE of clones? Again, it's not going to happen. I hope that I'm wrong. Well, we'll see, we'll see. I just find the scenario so big though. Like we never had something that large before. This is so crazy. Yeah, here we can see Bakugo aerials changed a bit. We can see that Shoto changed his aerial also. And by the way, I passed that without mentioning the most important part. Now we have tag teams. Tag battle, actually. Personally, I never played the latest Naruto series. I know that they have that there. Well, never played it. It's cool that it's coming here. We can see that the game is still very floaty. I know that there's a lot of people that don't like it. I don't mind it. I just feel that, well, if it's aerial and it has aerial combos, it's just more animations for us to enjoy as a whole. I'm not a big fan of the wall fights though. Like, it makes no sense. I actually dislike seeing my character running on the wall. Black Whip being used as a grab, super dope. And here, it's probably part of the combo, but the Black Whip being used as a movement. Like, if the scenario is this big, we're going to need a movement on the characters. Well, of course, some characters don't have much of that movement, but well, Viking always been really good at making moveset for characters, so I trust them. The shading is so cool. Oh, we have a woman. She's not in the game, by the way. She's she's the commentator. It's over. Just wanted to comment a bit. I'm so excited for this. I've been waiting for so long. See you guys there. Let's make this community big. We need this. The other game died out and I couldn't even complete 100% of my records. Very sad about it. Well, see you guys in the next one.